I don't have a mama. The words hung in the spring air, delicate and sharp, like a piece of glass I was afraid to touch. I remember staring at the little girl, at the chocolate ice cream dripping over her small knuckles, and feeling my entire world tilt on its axis. In that single sentence, she had named an emptiness I knew too well. It was just a Saturday. Another quiet Saturday on a park bench in Oakwood Springs, the kind of suburb where everyone seemed to have somewhere to be, someone to be with. I had a book open on my lap, a prop. My real occupation was watching the easy chaos of families, the soccer balls kicked by laughing dads, the patient hands of mothers braiding hair on picnic blankets. I was a ghost in the sunshine, haunted by my own quiet. The divorce had been final for a year, but the silence felt permanent. And then she was there. She couldn't have been more than 6. Her eyes were the color of a stormy sky, wide and impossibly direct. I don't have a family, Mama. Can I spend my day with you? Mama. My breath just stopped. My heart did this thing. It didn't break. It just unfolded, like a fist finally letting go after holding on too tight. I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. What do you say to a question that honest? Before I could find a word, a man was rushing toward us, his face pale with panic. Ella! God, Ella, I'm so sorry! He scooped her up, his hands gentle but frantic. He looked at me, and I saw it. The exhaustion, the fear, a love so deep it was etched in worry lines around his eyes. She doesn't have a mother. Sometimes she just... I am so sorry if she upset you. His name was Lucas. He kept apologizing, his words tumbling over each other. I finally found my voice, and it was softer than I'd heard it in years. She didn't upset me. I meant it. The truth was, I felt more seen by that little girl in 5 seconds than I had in 5 years. Not at all. Ella, still in his arms, reached a sticky hand back toward me. She didn't let go of my gaze. Lucas hesitated, that same unsure relief washing over him. The apology didn't end. It just transformed. It became a walk. We fed the fat, greedy ducks by the pond. Ella chattered, a constant, lovely stream of consciousness about her best friend's hamster, about the cloud that looked like a dragon, about how her hair never stayed in a ponytail for long. Other moms do braids, she said matter-of-factly, kicking a pebble. They're better for swings. I just listened. I didn't offer to be anything. I was just a lady on a bench who became a listener on a path. And for her, that was everything. I'd catch Lucas watching us sometimes, a strange, almost painful hope softening his face, like he was remembering a song he'd forgotten the words to. We got lunch from a taco truck parked by the Little League field. Ella sat between us on a curb, meticulously picking black beans out of her rice. The comfortable quiet between Lucas and me deepened. He told me, his voice low, about his wife. Cancer. 4 years ago. Ella was just 2. He said since then, life had been about routines and safety and getting through. We're okay, he said, but his eyes said they were just surviving. And maybe it was the unseasonable warmth of the day, or the way Ella's head briefly leaned against my shoulder, but I told him things too. I told him about the divorce, about the hollow feeling of a house that's just a building, about how I'd started to believe my story was already written, and the best parts were over. It wasn't a romance novel confession, it was just truth, handed over like a fragile shared cup of water. It felt terrifying and safe. The sun started to dip, painting the sky in watercolor streaks of orange and purple. We didn't part like strangers. Numbers were exchanged, a simple, hopeful act. Ella had a really nice day, Lucas said, his hand on her shoulder. The way he looked at me held a question he wasn't ready to ask. So one day became a weekend became a pattern. I became Maya, the friend who was good at math homework and listening to practice recitals for the school play. I learned Ella hated the feeling of sock seams, that she wanted to be a marine biologist because of an octopus documentary, that she had a nightlight shaped like a moon. I was so careful. I kept my heart in check, drawing invisible lines I promised myself I wouldn't cross. But love doesn't ask for a map. It grows in the quiet spaces. I fell for her laugh first, a sound so free and unguarded it felt like light breaking through clouds. I fell for the way she'd call me just to tell me she lost a tooth, her voice buzzing with static and excitement. I fell for the sacred trust in her eyes when she'd hand me a broken toy to fix. She called me Maya, but sometimes, in moments of pure joy or sudden fright, the mama would slip out again. We'd both freeze, a silent, aching acknowledgement hanging between us before we gently moved on. And Lucas. Lucas was a slow, steady sunrise. I fell for the way he made coffee for me exactly how I liked it without ever being told. I fell for the quiet pride in his eyes when he watched Ella. I fell for the weight of his gratitude, never spoken aloud, but felt in every courtesy, every shared glance. He made me feel essential, not out of obligation, but out of want. For the first time since my world shrank to the size of my own loneliness, I felt needed, not as a placeholder, but as myself. Then the offer came. A job in Charlotte. More money, a new city, a clean slate. It was the logical next step, the one my therapist would have applauded. Focus on yourself, Maya. Build the life you want. I started to pull away. I told myself I was just a chapter in their story, a kind neighbor who overstayed her welcome. I convinced myself my love was a borrowed coat, something to be returned before winter truly set in. I made excuses, became busy, let the texts go unanswered for longer and longer. One evening, I was at their house, helping Ella with a diorama of the ocean floor. Lucas was in the kitchen. My phone rang. The recruiter from Charlotte. I took the call in the hallway, my voice hushed, talking about relocation packages and start dates. I didn't see Ella's shadow in the doorway. I hung up and turned, and there she was. Her stormy eyes were pools of pure, shattered betrayal. Her chin trembled. "You're going away," she whispered. It wasn't a question. "Ella, honey, it's just a job. Is it because of me?" Her voice broke, and a single tear traced a path through the freckles on her cheek. Was I not good enough to be your girl? The world shattered. Just stopped. Those words, that fear, it hit me with a physical force. All my careful logic, my self-protective distance crumbled into dust. In trying to spare us all some future hurt, I was causing the deepest one right now. I wasn't protecting anyone. I was just leaving. I dropped to my knees in that hallway, my own vision blurring. I reached for her, my hands shaking so badly I could barely brush the hair from her wet cheek. "Oh, my sweet girl. No, listen to me." My voice was thick, cracking with an emotion I could no longer deny. "You are so much more than good enough. You are—" I didn't get to finish. Lucas was there. He'd heard everything. He stood behind his daughter, his face a landscape of understanding and his own quiet heartbreak. He looked from Ella's heaving shoulders to my tear-streaked face, and something in him settled, something definitive. He knelt down beside us, putting one strong, steady arm around Ella, and his other hand, warm and sure, found mine on the floor. He didn't let go. "Maya," he said, his voice low and clear, cutting through the static of our tears. "Look at me." I did. "I'm not asking you to replace anyone. We don't need you to be a ghost." He swallowed hard, his thumb stroking my knuckles. "We just need you. To be you. Because I am in love with you. and she already is. The admission hung in the air, not a question, but a truth, finally set free. Ella collapsed against my chest, her small arms wrapping around my neck in a hold that felt like a lifeline. I held her, breathing in the scent of her shampoo and lost ice cream, and looked at Lucas over the top of her head. The fear, the guilt, the endless planning for a future alone, it all just drained away. For the first time in years, I chose the messy, beautiful, uncertain present. I chose them. I'm not going anywhere, I whispered into Ella's hair, the words of vow. I looked at Lucas, and for the first time, I let him see all of it. The love, the fear, the hope. I'm staying. That hallway, with its scuffed baseboards and the faint smell of crayons and rain-damp jackets, became the place where my life truly began again. Saying I'm staying wasn't the end of a story. It was the first, real, shaky breath of a new one. The weeks that followed were a delicate, beautiful unraveling of all my old defenses. I didn't move in, not yet. But my toothbrush found a holder next to theirs. A spare sweater lived on a hook by the door. My favorite tea appeared in the cabinet. We became a tentative unit, learning the rhythm of us. Mornings were my favorite. Ella would pad into the kitchen, hair a glorious, sleep-tangled mess, and without a word, she'd hand me a hairbrush. That simple act, the trust in it, felt more sacred than any ceremony. I'd sit her on a stool at the counter, and I'd braid her hair. My fingers, clumsy at first, grew confident. French braids, crown braids, simple two-strand twists. Lucas would lean in the doorway, sipping his coffee, watching us with a softness in his eyes that felt like warmth on my skin. No one said anything. The only sound was the pull of the brush, the quiet sigh of contentment from Ella, and the hum of the coffee maker. It was our silent liturgy. But love, real love, isn't just the quiet moments. It's showing up for the loud, hard, public ones too. The first real test was Family Day at Ella's school. The flyer had been on their fridge for a month, a colorful, intimidating thing. Lucas asked me casually, but I saw the tension in his shoulders. "You don't have to," he said. "It might be a lot." He meant the looks, the unspoken questions from other parents who knew his history. Who's she? I felt a cold spike of old fear, the fear of not belonging, of being an outsider in a story I so desperately wanted to be part of. The morning of, Ella dressed with extra care in a frilly blue dress. She looked at me, then at the dress, and a tiny frown appeared. "Does this look like a Family Day dress?" she asked, her voice small. That was it. That was all I needed. My own fears evaporated. This wasn't about me. It was about a little girl in a frilly dress who wanted to feel normal. "It looks perfect," I said, kneeling to fix her ribbon. "And so do you." We walked into that bustling school gymnasium together, Ella between us, holding both our hands, swinging us forward with every step. I felt the glances, the subtle double takes. I heard a hushed, "That's Ella's dad. Who's that with them?" My face flushed, but I kept my eyes on Ella, who was beaming, pointing out her artwork on the wall. Then it happened. Mrs. Gibbons, Ella's teacher, a kind woman with a perpetual glitter stain on her sleeve, swooped over. "Ella, I'm so glad you're all here." She looked warmly at Lucas, then at me, without a flicker of surprise. "You must be Maya. Ella talks about you all the time. She told our whole class about the solar system model you helped her build. She said it so easily, so normally. You must be Maya. Not, who are you? Just an acknowledgement, a belonging." Ella squeezed my hand, her face proud. Later, during a 3-legged race, Lucas and I were tied together, stumbling and laughing like fools, while Ella screamed with delight from the sidelines. I fell into him, breathless, and he caught me, his arms solid around my waist. Our faces were close, both of us grinning. For a second, the noise of the gym faded. "See?" he murmured, his breath warm against my ear. "We look like we belong together." And we did. That night, after Ella was asleep, dreams full of blue ribbons and cupcake icing, Lucas and I sat on the back porch. The cicadas sang in the warm dark. He held my hand, his thumb tracing circles on my palm. "I applied for the job here," I said quietly into the night. I hadn't told him yet. "The one at the community college. They called today. I got it." He turned to me. The porch light caught the sheen in his eyes. He didn't say, "Thank you." He knew this wasn't a sacrifice. It was a choice. He simply brought my hand to his lips and kissed my knuckles, a long, tender press. "Welcome home, Maya," he whispered. Home. It wasn't the house. It was the sound of Ella's laughter upstairs, the weight of Lucas's head on my shoulder, the knowledge that my key would fit in the lock every single time. Time moved forward, not in a blur, but in vivid, cherished snapshots. Teaching Ella to ride a bike, my hands letting go of the seat as Lucas cheered from the driveway. Arguing over board game rules on a rainy Sunday. The first time I got sick, and Ella made me a soup of water and crackers, while Lucas brought me ginger ale and cool cloths without being asked. Then came the evening of the ordinary miracle. We were in the living room, a fire cracking in the hearth. Ella was drawing, her tongue poked out in concentration. Lucas was reading. I was just watching them, this feeling of profound, quiet peace swelling in my chest until I thought it might lift me right off the couch. Ella looked up from her drawing, a crayon poised in her hand. She looked at Lucas, then at me. Not a stormy, urgent look, but a calm, sure one. "Daddy?" she said. "Yeah, sweetie. I think Maya should stay forever. Like, really forever." The room went still. The fire popped. Lucas closed his book slowly. He looked at me, a whole conversation passing between us in the silence. Hope, fear, a future waiting to be claimed. He got up, walked over to the bookshelf, and pulled something from behind a photo frame. It was a small velvet box. He didn't get down on one knee. He just came and sat beside me, our thighs touching. He opened the box. Inside wasn't a diamond, but a simple, beautiful band, etched with a tiny, swirling pattern like ocean waves. "Ella's right," he said, his voice rough with emotion. "This isn't about replacing. It's about adding. You added the light, Maya. You added the laughter. You added the braids." He smiled, a little wobbly. "Will you add your name to ours? Will you be our family?" Ella was by my side now, her small hand on my arm, her eyes huge and hopeful. Not the desperate hope of a lost little girl in a park, but the sure, bright hope of a child who knows she is loved. I looked at this man who had taught me about gentle strength. I looked at this girl who had taught me about fearless love. My heart wasn't just full, it was finally, completely, at peace. "Yes," I said, the word leaving me on a breath of pure joy. "Yes, to all of it. Forever." Ella launched herself into my arms, and Lucas wrapped us both up in his. We stayed like that for a long time, a tangled, perfect knot of three. Now, when I walk through that park, our park, I don't see the ghosts of the life I thought I lost. I see the bench where a miracle in strawberry sundae stains found me. I see the path where we took our first, uncertain steps together. The other morning, I was finishing Ella's hair, 2 thick braids, her favorite. Lucas watched from the doorway, his smile my son. Ella looked at our reflection in the hallway mirror, at the 3 of us framed together. "Mama," she said, testing the word. It wasn't a slip. It was a gift, offered freely and with certainty. "Yes, my love," I answered, meeting her eyes in the glass. She just grinned, a gap-toothed, perfect grin. "I'm ready for school." And I was ready too. Ready for the school run, for the grocery trips, for the messy, glorious, ordinary forever that lay ahead. I finally understood what I wish I'd known all along. Family isn't a title you're born with. It's a story you choose to step into. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, that story finds you on a quiet Saturday when you're brave enough to say, "Yes,